Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how you doing? How's your mama? How's your family? We back with another one. I'm doing great as well. Today we got Charles Oliveira has only one way to beat Ilia Topuria. We're gonna make this the Ilia Topuria day, double upload. We know Ilia wants to fight Islam at some point. I don't think that fight happens because Islam wants to move up. He's tired of 155, and I can't blame him. And he's tired of fighting. I'm tired of fighting little guys, but I'm tired. I mean, if UFC wants, but I'm tired of fighting little guy. But Islam is not a guy you want to keep bored. You want to keep giving him new challenges and new challenges. And I think at some point, Bilal and got to put what he got to the side, and Islam and Bilal had to make the fight happen. But Topuria does say he wants to move up. Since Islam probably won't be available, he wants to fight Charles Oliveira. Another fight that I do not think will happen because you're the 145 champ. You're going to have to defend your 145 title or vacate it. And he said he ain't vacating. So, MMA Che, take it away. Charles Oliveira has one way to beat Ilia Topuria, and I'll give my little input like only I can do. Take it away.
I think at this point, a lot of people would be surprised to learn the fact that Charles Oliveira...
Hold on. Not going to lie. Let's take that down like... Take that down to like here.
Oliveira is my favorite fighter in the UFC. Charles and I, honestly, I have known him, I've met him, and I have been able to cultivate a relationship with him over the past few years. And I think that's a very unknown fact about me. And I think that, again, it's personal, but when I had first met Charles Oliveira, I was at a point in my life where I just didn't see the point of it all. I think that it's very easy to get crushed, to get burdened under the weight, under the magnitude of what it means to be a human, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with, and me included, but I think that Charles Oliveira is the one that taught me friendship.
That's how it was with Dustin Poirier, who it is signed, by the way, crappy Sharpie, but it is signed by Dustin Poirier himself. Dustin Poirier helped me through a lot of times as well, back in the day, when he was a jiu-jitsu coach, at forgot the name of that shit. A gym in Lafayette, really taught me the ropes, really taught me foundation, built the foundation in my life, and I'll never forget him doing that for me, and I just only hope I can repay the favor one day, and then as far as Charles, it's my uncle. Look, okay, I'm rambling, dude. This video,
and for that, I'll always be grateful. I think that Charles is a light. I think he's a beacon in this dark universe that we live in, and I think that I want to protect Charles Oliveira at all costs. So imagine my fucking heart palpitations when I heard that Ilia Topuria wants to move up and he wants to fight Charles.
Heart dropped to my ass. Yeah. Same thing for DP. Those are my two favorite fighters ever. Okay? Imagine what I was going through actually when DP fought Charles Oliveira. Brother. What? But Ilia Topuria wants Ilia. Oh my God.
I know, that got me a little nervous. It did trigger, I don't want to sound dramatic, but it did cause a couple of full-blown panic attacks. And I'm okay, though. I'm all right. I've just been kind of drenching my brain in alcohol. You know what I mean? Whenever I start thinking about it, that's when I know I need to start putting some shit down. And, I think that helps. I think it kind of makes you feel numb to it all, which I think that's all you can really ask for in today's world, right? But, look, I'll be honest with you. Yes, Ilia Topuria is a terrifying matchup. Ilia Topuria is shaping up to be a legend killer. And it's one thing to beat legends. It's another thing to fucking crack them. It's another thing to leave them lifeless on the ground. And I think that if he were to do that to Charles, I think that I would probably... I don't want...
Simon says...
Come on, bruh. I'm going to pay my YouTube premium bill, I promise, guys.
Want to be over dramatic here, but I think I would jump off of a bridge. I think that I would.
I'm right there with you.
Probably. I don't know. I think at that
I'll
point,
probably run my head as fast as I can into a brick wall.
Out, I want probably the worst way out. I might jump into a wood chipper feet first because I just feel like that. At least the pain and the horror from that experience would kind of, again, numb me to the pain and horror of seeing Charles knocked out unconscious with Ilia Topuria parading around the octagon. You know?
Sipping tea.
But again,
oh my God.
I don't think that this fight's a shoo-in. I don't. I actually
Neither.
think that Charles might stand a chance here. The scary thing about fighting Ilia Topuria is, essentially, you have to try to avoid his boxing. I mean, that is really what everything comes down to. The problem is, you have to do that over 25 minutes. You essentially
too
have
long
to
of a
be
time.
perfect.
That's like avoiding Gervonta Tank Davis's power for the course of 12 rounds. You're not. You're just not. He's gonna find you eventually.
You know, for example, I think that Max Holloway, what he does, the absolute elite skill in my mind that he brings to the table has always been his ability to roll with punches. That has always been Max Holloway's thing. You look at the Jose Aldo fight, it was the perfect example of this. Max is standing right in front of Aldo, but he's keeping the fight at his range and he's trying to land long shots. Well, when Aldo would slip the jab and try to explode into the pocket with punches, Max would roll with it, absorbing a lot of the brunt from the shot, and then he would immediately get right back onto the pressure. So, you know, you look at him versus Ilia Topuria and you say, well, he should try to replicate this same thing. Keep the fight at his range. Make sure he's rolling with Ilia's punches. Try to make him miss. And as soon as he misses, put the pressure on him, get in his face, and try to land combinations. And again, he was doing a very good job at this rounds 1 and 2. Up until the one time he wasn't perfect. He didn't roll with the punch at all. Ate it full force, immediately got rocked, still was able to survive that shot, which is wild, but then immediately gets floored with a clean shot right on the chin. Right. Well, I think Charles Oliveira, of course, he also needs to try to find a way to avoid boxing, avoid the pocket. But I think that on paper,
Charles has a 4-inch reach advantage. He has like a 5-inch height advantage. That might be crazy, but probably not 5 inches, but it's like he would have to use those teeps to the body and those body kicks and those. Every time Topuria gets close, he would have to initiate that clinch. And yeah, Oliveira gets hit a lot when he's in that clinch, but at least you're not letting him fully wind up. You're taking away a little bit of momentum. And then once he's in the clinch, he has to respect your submissions, your neck attacks, and your trips. So he wouldn't be able to be fully offensive in those positions. You would have to. It would be hard. He would have to shoot. He would have to shoot and get positions and hold positions.
He needs to do this in a very different way than Max Holloway tried to. I think that legitimately Oliveira does
can't give
have
up
some
one
tools
good shot.
and he does have some weapons that I think could actually help him a lot in this matchup. Of course, Oliveira's going to be a decent amount taller. He's definitely longer, but he does not have the footwork or the ability to roll with punches like Max Holloway does. So trying to fight on the outside, I think, will never work against Ilia Topuria. I think Charles is going to get cracked trying to fight that way, and that's just not going to work. I think he needs to do the exact opposite. Of course, one thing I really did like from Oliveira against
Don't hang in the pocket with Ilia Topuria. Please don't tell me that's where you're
Michael
going.
Chandler most recently was his high guard was a lot tighter and a lot better than it had been in the past. When Oliveira fought Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier, he was very reckless. He wanted to get right in their face and just overwhelm them, which did leave him open to get cracked. Again, though,
those shots, that's a KO. That is crazy how those shots from that's Dustin Poirier letting it flush. I have no idea how he didn't get KO'd. That shot from Ilia Topuria, that's a KO. That's a KO.
Care about going to the ground with these guys, whether he was on top or bottom. It didn't matter to him, so he was willing to be a lot more reckless. But I don't think he wanted to be on the bottom against Michael Chandler. Now, obviously, based on their first fight, that was not a very productive position to be in
at all
for Charles. And this is something that I've discussed in the past in great detail, is the fact that Michael Chandler, and I think Arman Sarukian is another great example of this. These guys are buff hamsters. All right, they're very bulky, very compact. They don't have a lot of limbs to work with. They're very explosive. And that body type, it is so difficult to set offense off of your back against. It is so, so hard. So again, he wanted to avoid any opportunity to get rocked by Chandler. And therefore, what he was doing was he was keeping his high guard very tight. And when Chandler would step in trying to throw, Oliveira just did a good job hanging back a little bit, making sure he wasn't running into any punches. And I think against somebody like Ilia, this has got to be step one, and it's got to be a must. I want Oliveira immediately to take the center of the octagon, keep up a high, tight guard, very light on his lead leg, and we need a lot of teeps.
Yep.
And another tool he used against Chandler beautifully was the knee stomps. He
Yep.
was stomping on Chandler's knee a lot. It's a real nasty position. And it punishes guys for having a bladed stance.
Yep.
If you're standing square like a TIE fighter, the knee stomps, they just don't work the same way as when you're bladed. And Ilia is absolutely bladed. So this is what we need. We cannot have...
Go bold in a new 2025
Pay them
Kia
bills,
K4.
bro. I can't
The
even hate. Pay them
K4
bills,
stands out with
Ilia pressuring Oliveira backwards. Again, if you have elite footwork, if you have elite head movement, I guess you can try. It's still dangerous, but I guess you can try. But Oliveira just doesn't have that ability. So we have to avoid that at all costs. And the other tool he needs to use to prevent getting backed up is his teeps. Oliveira has
100%.
really good teeps. And again,
Nasty.
this is something we keep saying over and over again with Ilia. But, of course, on paper, when you're fighting a very boxing-heavy opponent, well, you want to be very kick-heavy, of course, because kicks, they're very difficult to counter. At least they're a lot harder to counter than punches. But Ilia does such a good job protecting his head and his body all at once with his guard, and it really eliminates round kicks. But the straight kicks, the teeps, Max Holloway was using them pretty well against Ilia, and he himself was also using the knee stomps. And Ilia really didn't like it. I think that if I'm Charles
Topuria's
Oliveira,
kicks
I'm
are way nastier than Holloway's as well.
to end Ilia's career. I'm trying to do
Facts.
irreparable damage to his knee ligaments. It's the only way. I mean, we got to get fucking nasty and we got to get fucking ugly out there, okay? Because Ilia
Facts.
Topuria, again, he's so fucking dangerous.
very malicious
and
game
the
that we
hard part
play,
about
like John Jones
building a
would say.
strategy against him is you have to be perfect.
In this
again,
motherfucker's
right?
career.
Oliveira used his high guard very well against Chandler until he didn't. Round 5, Oliveira got rocked really bad because, as you see here, his lead hand is just down.
He dropped
his
it.
lead hand was down. He got caught with a hook first and then got caught with a straight shot right on the chin. I imagine it has something to do with the fact that Oliveira had been dominating that fight over 5 rounds, got a little too comfortable, and then he ends up getting rocked. So, again, that is the scary thing. We have to be perfect here. But there's another key aspect of Oliveira's game that's very important here, is that we're not dealing with old school Oliveira. We're dealing with D1 Oliveira.
You gotta shoot.
Okay? Charles Oliveira now knows how to wrestle, and he knows how to wrestle really fucking well. We
Gotta
go back
shoot.
to my favorite takedown he hit against Michael Chandler. Oliveira goes for a double leg. Michael Chandler literally thinks to himself in that moment, I was a Division I All-American wrestler. I know how to defend double legs. So he just simply hikes up one of Oliveira's arms, getting underhooks, which does
But now I'm
kill
switching
the
to the
double
single.
leg. But who the fuck knew that Charles Oliveira can chain wrestle? He switches from a double to a knee tap. It's the perfect transition based on how Chandler was defending. Puts him on his back, immediately mounts him, and we have ourselves a fucking fight here against Ilia Topuria. The strategy is perfect.
Yeah.
The strategy
MMA Che
is
never
seamless.
fails
We need
to turn me up. Let's go. Yeah.
Charles, high guard, chin tucked, hands right over his eyeballs. He needs to take the fucking center of the octagon. He is not taking a step back. I need knee stomps, I need teeps, and I need a lot of takedowns. I want every single time
gotta
Ilia
shoot.
tries to throw a punch,
Shoot.
Charles just needs to wrap him up. He needs to fucking stuff him. Just shove him up against the fence, hold him there, try to take him down. Again, right? Ilia Topuria is going to be a bit smaller than Charles. Maybe
Not a bit.
weight-wise, they'll be similar. Maybe on fight
Yeah.
night. But
Yeah, they will, probably.
Oliveira has the bigger, longer frame.
Huge
he
frame.
just does, and he needs to utilize it. There cannot be any backing up. As soon as Oliveira is on the back foot, that is where Ilia gets very dangerous with the overhands. Ilia's overhands are fucking brutal. There's so much torque with them, and again, he's so good at timing the overhand off of your jab.
He throws the perfect
so
punch.
I need a lot less boxing from Oliveira. Look, I guess you can throw a punch here or there every now and then, but we
For
gotta
real.
be fucking careful. Again, what we need to do is take this fight where we have an advantage. We need to try to hurt Ilia. We need to get fucking ugly and fucking nasty. We need to destroy this guy's knees. We're doing a lot of teeps, and I want grappling.
Turning me up,
we
yeah.
need D1 Oliveira to show
Yeah.
up for this fight, and we need just to try to put it fucking on this guy. All right, that's what we need. We need to fucking put it on
must
this
have
guy,
fucking
okay?
choked us
I'm
some shit.
scared. All right, I'm sorry. I'm scared. I'm nervous. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. I hope the fight never
really
happens.
hope
I'm gonna be honest. I hope the fight never happens.
this fight doesn't happen. Okay,
Yeah, I'm
I
with
really
you.
hope this fight doesn't happen because I just think that
I'm with you.
Charles, again, it's a tough ask to be perfect over 25 minutes. It's a tough ask to not give Ilia any kind of look at your chin. Because if you give him a look at your chin, you're in fucking trouble. And I know that Ilia Topuria is a good grappler, but Charles Oliveira, he has better submissions. He's the best submission artist in the UFC. And again, we just gotta get fucking ugly out there, okay? That's what we need. And I'm scared, all right? You want me to fucking admit it? I'm having heart palpitations as we speak right now thinking about it, okay? But I'm telling you, Oliveira has a chance. He really does.
All right, Shay. That was a great video, dude. You never fail to turn me up, hype me up. Yeah, I hope the fight never happens too. That would be fucking brutal. I don't know. That's irreversible damage. It is, and I would actually hate Ilia Topuria for the rest of his career, no matter how fucking amazing he is, and the fact that he could be the GOAT of the sport one day, and I would fucking hate his guts because at this point you're just KOing all my favorite fighters. Fuck you, right? So, hey man. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed. More videos on the way. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get up out of here, man. Help out the algorithm, please.